Have you been scammed before? Have you been cheated out your money? Have you fell victim to something through your own greed? Well, I have. Actually, I have. My friend has. And my sister, too. You want to hear a story? Stay tuned this week on Motivation and Confidence. All right, everybody worldwide, you're now tuned into Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. And I'm your host, Tom Danger. Back this week with a new episode. And this week we're at episode number 94. And we call this one The Beauty of Being Scammed. So why do I say that? I got a little story to tell. Good friend of mine. I'm just going to call him T in this episode because I don't want to put his business out there. But what up, T? You're checking me out right now. Appreciate you, bro. Childhood friend, really good friend of mine. Nice at playing ball. We had to be about, I want to say about 13 years old, living in New York City. And T was from projects, you know. I stayed in 18th Street on my block. T lived in the projects. But that was my boy. He's like my brother. Actually, before he moved over there, he actually lived on my block in a tenement. And that's how we got close. Because when he first moved around here, it's like a new kid on the block. Everybody outside playing. You just see a kid over there. You're like, yo, can I play? Like, what y'all playing? And we just started hanging out. And we've been cool. Wow. Just as long as I've known my wife. That is crazy. So I know T for about, had to be a little bit longer, right? So probably about 33 years I've known T, you know. And when we were growing up, Easter time was like a big deal. Like, parents want you to go to church and everything. If you're Christian and all that, so you had to go to church. But then after church was the real deal, right? So when Easter time was coming about, you got to get your Easter outfit. Now, basically, you would get two outfits, right? You get one for church, and you get the other one for afterwards. And the one afterwards was like the crazy. That's when you get like new sneakers, new jeans, T-shirts, something like that. So we're getting older, right? We 13, we almost teenagers. Now, my mom would always take me shopping, not always. Once she got her money right by working, she would take us shopping down at Macy's or just in the 34th Street area. And with that, I sort of knew my way around Manhattan, you know, because I mean, that was where you didn't just go shopping on 125th Street because back then they had limited stores. It wasn't like a huge selection. Like 125th Street now has like a bunch of selections to choose from. So you want to do something different, you go down to 34th Street because like the prices be a little bit better and all that, and you get a better variety. So me and Tone, his grandmother says, look, I'm going to give you some money and I'm going to let you go school shopping. So Tone is excited. He's like, all right, bet. Yo, Tom, you going to come with me? Of course, bro. You know, I got you. We going to roll down there. You know, it ain't nothing. My mom's took me there before. We going to go. We going to get fresh. Now, another situation had happened to me when I went down there before. When we talk about the beauty of being scammed. So my sister and I don't want to divert from the story, but we had already been scammed. So I was sort of hip to what goes on down there. So before we go down there, let me just backtrack a little something. I think his grandmother gave him like, I want to say like $300, something like that. And back then, like $300, that's like a lot of money. Like you get $300 to go shopping. Mind you, you could pretty much back then with $300 go school shopping for like the first week of school. He was just going to get two outfits. And I said, T, before we go, because we coming from 116 down to 34th. I said, T, before we go, don't stop and talk to anybody. Let's just go ahead about our business and don't talk to anybody. It's sort of like I'm sounding like the older brother, like the parent, how the parents tell you when you're out there in the street, don't stop and talk to strangers, because if you do, you can get led into the wrong direction. jump on the train, chilling. We just excited. Like, he got a pocket full of money. I was happy for him, and I didn't even have $300 spent on the clothes. I don't even think I was able to get that fresh. My budget may have been like $70 or something like that, and Tone had like $300. So we go down there, get off on 34th Street, come from 8th Avenue, walk up to 7th, right? Is that 7th Avenue? Yeah, 7th Avenue by Macy's, and we were headed over near Conway. So I think we were walking back uptown. So we're probably on between 35th and 36th Street. And here's where things got interesting. So there's a guy on the sidewalk playing 3-Card Monte. Do you know what 3-Card Monte is? You do? Okay. 3-Card Monte is basically a card game with three cards on the table, and I think you have to find the two that match. I think that's the way it is, right? Or is it? It has to be two. It's 2 or 3. They call it 3 cards. I think it's you just have to find whatever card comes from the deck is like a match of what they deal. Something like that. Some shenanigans, right? The card game is set up on like 2 crates and like an empty box. And the guy's going real fast. Just flicking the cards back and forth. So what does T do? T is like, yo, Tom, let's see what they doing. And I'm like, no, man, let's just keep going. Let's go to the store. He's like, nah, that look fun. He stops. The guy's shuffling the cards. And he goes, the guy that's in front of him, he said, pick the card. Picks the card, flips it over. Oh, man, you found the card. Here's $20. The guy's like, yes. He's excited. He's like, you want to play again? He's like, all right, double or nothing. Does it again. He said, if you bet me 20, you can win 40. Does it again. He hit it. Yeah, I got 40. Tone is still standing there. Excuse me. T, I'll edit that, right? The guy shuffles the cards again. He goes, hey, kid, pick a card. T is like, that one. Oh, kid, you got it. Here's $20. T is amped now. He's like, yo, that's really cool. You already see where the story's going, right? Come on, kid, don't walk away. So I'm like T, come on, man. Let's just go in the store, man. Like, we don't need to be out here. You got money on you. You don't need to be playing cards. Like, come on, bro. Nah, Tom. I think I could win it. So the other guy that was already playing was cheating a little bit because he was somehow like bending the edge of the cards so that when the guy was shuffling it, so that he knew which card would be the right card to pick. So he bent the edge of it. So once he bent the edge of it, he figured like once he shuffled again, I'll know which card to pick. So T thought that he would follow behind the guy, and when he picked the card, he would pick the same card. So that worked for like 2 rounds. So he went from like 40, got up to like 100. Now, the part about the scam is that each time you won something, they would let you win twice as much back. So they would never just let you fall back down to 0. Now, all this is happening in, let's say, a matter of 5 minutes, 10 minutes, but it seemed like when you're doing it, like it's going on forever. Needless to say, Tone is up to 100. He's up to 200. He's up to 300. So the guy that was cheating, remember he was bending the cards, so always had that one card bent. The guy that started shuffling them, when it got up to 300, and he asked T to pick the card, T thought he could pick the same card that was bent, but somehow the guy wound up bending all 3 of the cards. So when he looked down at the cards, all 3 were bent. He said, "Kid, pick the card." And he went to pick. It was the wrong card. The guy snatched the $300 out of his hand, flipped the table over, and walked away. And Tone was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to tell my grandmother. She going to kill me." And you know what I kept saying to him, right? I told you not to stop and talk to nobody. Why you had to stop and talk to him? Now we got to go back and your grandmother going to be mad at us because you were stopping to talk to him. Now, the reason why I knew about the scam was sometime before that, I want to say a few months before that, my sister and I'm going to call her T, we're also downtown, the same area. Yep, we was over near 34th Street. We finished shopping. We were done with our shopping because we did what we were supposed to do. We went down there, got a little bit of shopping. We were about to get back on the train. A man approaches us. He says, please, help me. I'm trying to find my lockbox. I said, lockbox? What are you talking about? He said, my lockbox. I'm trying to find my way back to the Port Authority. I just came here and I put my money in a lockbox, but I don't know how to get back to the Port Authority. Can you help me? So me being a kind kid, I go to the payphone. I call the operator. Really, as I think about it, it's pretty silly. It's pretty silly, right? My older sister's there. She's 3 years older than me, and she has on these, like salt and pepper. For those of you who like into hip hop, she had on these door knocker earrings. They were like huge, like triangles, like this big. They were like dookie in the ear, like super big, and they were made from real gold, right? My dad got it for her, spoiled her, right? Whatever. Go to the payphone, call. Don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, sir. We tried calling. They don't know what you're talking about. So another guy walks up and he's like, hey, what's going on? It's always 2 guys. You notice that? He's trying to get his lockbox with money because he just came here and he doesn't want anybody to rob him. So we're just trying to help him. Oh, that's really nice, you guys. But if we work together, we can all help him. And the guy goes, well, if you help me, I'll give you a reward. I'll pay you. I have $13,000 in my lockbox. And we're like, no, we don't want anything. We just want to help you. Okay. So we're 2 dumb kids walking with this man who appears to be a foreigner and this other stranger to help him find his lockbox. And, he was so nice that he took us to McDonald's. I'll never forget this, right? He went to McDonald's and he tried to order something to eat. And what convinced me that he wasn't from this country because he didn't know how to order from the McDonald's menu. Like, he looked totally like oblivious to what was on the menu. He's like, French fry. Like, he didn't know what was going on. So the guy's like, no. Come on, let's leave. So we have made our way back from 34th Street almost to Times Square. And there's a pizza shop. And the guy goes, look, because for those of you who are familiar with the New York area, Port Authority is right there on 42nd Street. You just have to walk from like 7th Avenue to like 9th or 10th Avenue, something like that. That's exactly where it's at. So that's where his lockbox was at. So the guy goes, look, you guys have come this far with us. I want to give you a reward for even helping me. And I have this money in my pocket. And he goes into his pocket and he looks as if he's pulling out a wad of money. But he's like, I want to trust you guys are going to wait for me while I go and get the rest of my money. And I'll pay you. So all we see is like the wad of money like this. But he says, you need to put something of yours with my money. We put it in a bag and you hold it together. Now, even as I'm saying this over, it sounds very foolish. But at the time, it sounds as if the greed was just calling to get the best of us. Like, wow, he has all this money. He's going to pay us. So my sister, she says to my sister, like, those are nice earrings. I'm going to take my money. I'm going to put it in this brown bag. You take your earrings, you put it in the brown bags, and you hold it. And we're going to go to the lockbox. And when we come back with the lockbox, I'm going to give you some money. So me and my sister sitting there for almost an hour with this brown bag with her earrings in it and a wad of money for almost like 40 minutes to an hour. And we knew that we had to head back home because our mom was going to get upset at us. Like, what took you so long? So we tried to be good Samaritans. He didn't come back. We didn't open the bag either. But we had to go home and explain to our mom what just happened. Come back home, got the brown paper bag. I'll never forget it. Mother's like, well, what took you guys so long? So we telling her the story and she's just looking at us. And I think my sister goes, Ma, we tried to do the right thing, but we came back with all his money. And she handed my mom the brown paper bag. And when she opened it up, what was supposed to be a wad of money was newspaper cut into perfect sheets of dollar bills in a wad. And she looked at us and said, the two of you are two of the biggest jackasses that I've ever seen, for y'all to sit there and think that somebody's going to give you something for basically nothing. Now, why do I call this the beauty of being scammed? Fast forward into life, a lot of times we as people have this, I don't even know how to describe it, but greed. Sometimes we're just greedy. Whenever we think that we can put a penny in and come back with 100, and it's easy to do, that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and do something quick and easy to get the biggest amount back. And that lesson taught me very young as a child that anything that you get, it's not going to come to you easy. It's not going to come to you in a brown paper bag full of money. It's not going to come to you easily in a card trick where you're just going to triple or quadruple your money. And that you have to think. And that's the beauty of being scammed. And it also humbles you. So the next time you're thinking about doing something, or you see something and it seems so good to be too good to be true, ask yourself, Tom Danger was a jackass once because he put his money or his sister's earrings into a brown paper bag and let his friend get scammed of $300. This can't be real. I can't get it.
Mind you, her earrings wasn't even in the brown bag that y'all brought home.
Yeah, the earrings were not in the bag. The guy somehow got the earrings out of the bag and took her earrings from her. So, lessons learned. Always ask questions. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And I wouldn't say don't talk to strangers, but be very skeptical about people who appear to be in need. And if you want to give them whatever you want them to have, give them that, but don't ever expect anything in return. Shout out to all the people who've been tuning into the podcast. San Jose, California, Atlanta, Florida, people in the UK, some people in Nigeria. Definitely appreciate you. If you have a guest that you'd like to feature on the podcast, email us, tommydanger@gmail.com, tommydanger@gmail.com. Check us out on various platforms. And don't forget to join the mailing list. If you join the mailing list today, we'll give you a complimentary copy of Motivation and Confidence Volume 1. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And until next week, this is Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. Thank you for tuning into Motivation and Confidence, where we help you do your daily best. Like, subscribe, or leave a comment. Check us out on various platforms: Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, Overcast, Castbox, SoundCloud, YouTube, iTunes, TuneIn, or Alexa Media.